Hello everyone, and welcome to Aselia the Eternal, at the end of this earth, or in no Aselia Konodachi no Hatede. So, this is a game that I have quite a bit of affinity for. It's a visual novel slash strategy RPG, and while I wouldn't say the story is the strongest of, any visual novel I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination, it is fun, it's engaging, there's a lot of likable characters, and the combat, though the graphics aren't great in this game by any stretch, in the gameplay sequences, it's actually a lot of fun, and it's pretty difficult, so let's hop right into it. Let's start a new game. I have beaten this game, I've gotten all characters to max level and stuff, so it's hardly new to me, but it's been a long time since I really played it. So we're going to start off on normal. I am starting a new game. We're not going to carry over any data, because that would just trivialize the gameplay. And I doubt anybody really wants to see that, unless they want to see just the story, in which case you probably don't care about that. But anyway, you go to another world in this game, and they have their own way of speaking, Saint Yodo's. Whereas you can choose the Japanese/English translation immediately out of the gate if you've beaten the game before. Since this is a, playthrough as if we never played it before, we're going to go with Saint Yodo's. And this is also a scene that you normally don't get until you've beaten the game. It just gives a little more background on a character, though. It isn't really anything that's spoilerific, so we can go ahead and just watch this scene. It's really not a big deal. Darkness. It covered him and everyone around him. Absolutely everything was dyed dark. Pedigree, wealth, good looks. He had all of those things that made him an object of envy. However, of love alone, he was completely bereft. Being sickly, he was hospitalized many times. He cried often, but not out of frustration, but out of loneliness. He never had visitors. The doctors and nurses that passed by looked right through him. Every day was the same. His heart, which should have been tender, easily became dry and cracked. One day, a change occurred in his everyday routine. An unfamiliar girl stood in front of his hospital room, at a time when no one should have come by. Realizing the state he was in, he hastily wiped away his tears. Letting someone see him cry was intolerably embarrassing. He immediately feigned toughness. It was not of vanity, but out of self-protection. Those who cry are weak. The weak are trampled over. That's what Akatsuki Shun, who had always lived around such negativity, had learned. Hesitantly, the girl finally entered. There was an innocent curiosity in her eyes. As he became increasingly surprised, his tears fell more and more. When Shun raised his voice, the girl, Takamine Kaori, flinched in surprise. Looking at Kaori's surprised reaction, Shun came to a realization. The girl in front of his eyes was also someone easily hurt. Hey there, Chris Baker, how you doing? Yeah, it's Aselia the Eternal, or, Ian no Aselia Konodachi no Hatede, if you prefer the Japanese title. A drop of water sprinkled upon his cracked, dry heart. Shun apologized with a boyish awkwardness he hadn't felt in a long time.
大丈夫。ちょっとびっくりしたけど。
Yeah, we're just getting started, Chris.
本当にごめん。
Seeing Shun smile, Kaori beamed a smile as well. It was the first time in his life that Shun had ever met someone in whom he saw no darkness.
ずっと病院にいるの？
ずっとじゃないけど、よくいるよ。
I forgot to log off of Steam. Oops.
それじゃあまた来てもいい？
え？
お母さんがね、病気の人には優しくしてあげなさいって。
Cliff notes of what it's about. Basically, you are a young man who... I mean, this is stuff that happens very early in the game, and you'll find it on the back of the box, so I wouldn't consider it a spoiler. You're essentially sucked into another world and drawn into this conflict where you are forced to fight in order to protect others and protect someone who's important to you. Very vague, I know, but I don't want to get into spoilers. So, it is a strategy RPG / visual novel combination, and I think it's a lot of fun.
お母さん。
お母さん。とっても優しいんだよ。
Kaori showed a smile as brilliant as the sun. Shun was drawn in by it. How could she smile like that? How could she be so happy talking to a stranger like this?
この子なら僕を裏切らない。絶対にそばにいてくれる。ずっと、ずっと。
That might be a bit of a stretch there, Shun. You just met her like 3 minutes ago. He became a prisoner of the kindness directed towards him. He became addicted to the feeling filling up his chest.
僕は秋月俊。君の名前は？
Cool, Chris. I hope you like it. It is a slow burn of a game, particularly at the beginning. Like, it'll be several hours before we even get into the other world. But if you can get past that, I think you'll enjoy it.
高峰香織、よろしくね。
よろしく。よろしくね。香織。
He was able to hear her name. That alone was the height of happiness to Shun. They stared at each other and smiled. That was the day Shun and Kaori met.
香織。君は僕の初めての。
Shun, having learned of warmth, became afraid to lose it. Then, what should he do? His life up until that point had already taught him the answer.
奪われないように僕が強くなればいいんだ。香織は僕のためにいるんだから。
Anime logic! He wouldn't be the one taken from. He would be the one to take. Having made his decision, he laughed. His loneliness disappeared.
香織。僕の香織。
Psycho! The day Kaori's parents died, that was the day I also lost my parents for the second time. It was the same hospital room as always. A white, nondescript, square room. The same as always. It's this dream again. Dad. Mom. No. You promised, didn't you? You said you wouldn't leave Kaori and me. My high voice, not yet broken by puberty, oops, rang through the silent hospital room. My young self clung to the two already cold bodies and sobbed. Plane crashes aren't an extremely rare occurrence, but my adopted family just happened to be aboard that particularly ill-fated plane. That's all there was to it. The fact that the two corpses were left in such good condition despite the plane crash seemed utterly unreal to me at the time. That's why I remember that I continued calling out to them, thinking that maybe if I kept calling, they might wake up, as though it were just a usual morning. The accident happened when everyone else was going to visit Grandma's house in the countryside. Only I, who had taken an earlier flight, evaded the accident. As the small me broke down in tears, the nurse who had been waiting behind me embraced me closely with both arms. I flared up at the nurse. Why didn't you save them? Or, why didn't you save them? My kid voice needs work. I knew that the person before my eyes wasn't at fault. But I still couldn't accept it. I glared at the nurse without wiping away my tears. The nurse, without averting her gaze, slowly crouched down and softly spoke to me while looking into my eyes.
今は辛いだろうけど、香織ちゃんのことを祈ってあげて。香織ちゃんは今一人で一生懸命に戦ってるから。
The way the nurse calmly spoke Cowdy's name cooled my head. The young me bowed deeply and prayed fervently for Cowdy's safety. She was my only remaining family member, truly the only family I had left, my adopted sister. Someone, I don't care if it costs me my own life, I'll do anything so. I prayed from the bottom of my heart. If Cowdy could be saved, I would have sacrificed anything for it. So please, anyone, save Cowdy. I had nobody else whom I thought of as family. Cowdy was the last thing remaining that was proof of my existence. Since my youth, I've always been told that my only strength is my devil's luck. But I knew. The ones bearing the brunt of my devil's luck were the people around me. I'm the one bringing everyone misfortune. It's because I'm here that everyone dies. That's a little harsh there, buddy. For a long time, I felt like my very existence might be a sin.
力とはの
Suddenly, I heard a voice. A voice not transmitted through the air, but directly into my head. He's hearing voices now! I didn't know whether the words had meaning, or if they were words, they were even words at all, but I prayed even to the owner of that voice. Save Cowdy! Or, save Cowdy! I'll do anything, so please, save her! That's very awkward. Desperate, I offered deep, deep prayers. Before I knew it, the ones of my young self overlapped with my current ones. I prayed desperately for Cowdy. All I could do was keep praying. Still, I can still hear a voice. I'm being called from far, far away. That's right. My dream always ends here. The past isn't something I want to remember, so I return to reality. And despite that relief, I still feel in doubt. What could that voice have been? Did that thing that crept into my mind really grant my wish? Thinking about that, I feel my awareness surfacing. If I had my wish, today would be another drab, ordinary day. 10% peace and 90% tedium. A world where dramatic tragedies are unthinkable. Wobble wobble. My body shakes slightly. Or could something be shaking it? Herp derp.
お兄ちゃん早くしないと遅刻だよ。ねえお兄ちゃんってば。
Wobble 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 wobble. My body is shaking around the bed. Each shake makes a small gap between the bed and bed covers. From there, cold morning air leaks in. Ugh, cold. My surfacing consciousness seeks warmth. Still not entirely awake, I try to wrap myself in the covers again.
もうすぐきょうちゃんもみどり先輩も来ちゃうよ。早く起きて朝ごはん食べないと。
Opening my eyes slightly, I see Cowdy in front of me, making a troubled face. She's kneeling by the bed, staring at me. As I instinctually close my eyes again, I reply to Cowdy. I hate the cold. Just a little longer.
苦手なのは知ってるよ。でももう時間がないんだよ。
She starts hitting me through the covers. But her hits are too weak and to rouse me from bed. In fact, the steady rhythm of her beating makes me feel even sleepier. You know, I don't think it really works like that generally, but hey, alright. Yeah, I should just sleep. I drag back the covers and secure myself in a comfortable position.
お兄ちゃんってば。もうきょうちゃんもみどり先輩も来ちゃうってば。
Wobble wobble. She's rocking me oh so pleasantly. Ah, Kaori must not really intend to wake me up at all. Making that convenient excuse to myself, I gradually fall back to sleep.
あ、はーい。来ちゃった。お兄ちゃん、早く起きないとまた大変なことになっちゃうよ。ちょっと出てくるからね。早く起きてね。絶対の絶対だよ。
I'm sure he will.
絶対の絶対の絶対だからね。はーい、今出ます。
Hitting the bed one last time, Kaori goes to answer the door. It's quiet. The doorbell falls silent, and all the other sounds fade out. Now I can return to the dream world. A better dream would be nice. My consciousness dwindles quickly.
きょうちゃん、今お兄ちゃん起きるところなの。だから大丈夫だよ。本当に大丈夫だよ。
Mm-hmm.
なわけないでしょ。かおりちゃんってば言うなんてかばう必要ないの。ガツンとやらないと起きないんだから、あの寝ぼすけは。
It's noisy. Things are getting noisy again outside. I push my head into the pillow to avoid hearing the voices.
さてと、バッシーッと叩き起こさないとね。
お兄ちゃん、起きたよね。
ゆう、おはよう、起きているかね。ほーら、やっぱりね。かおりちゃんは嘘が下手すぎるよ。ごまかすならもっとうまくやらないと。
That exaggerated shrug.
でもま、そこがかおりちゃんのいいとこなんだけどね。
ごめんなさい。なんか今日もお兄ちゃん疲れてるみたいで。
いいのいいの。ほらゆう、早く起きた起きた。このままじゃ遅刻するよ。ゆうと掃除の運命を共にする気はないんだからね。ほら。
My neck is grabbed suddenly, and my body is shaken violently. It's like an earthquake.
ほら、早く起きなってば。ゆう、ほらほらほらほらほら。
All the rattling. So much rattling. Rattlepalooza. Oh my god. Ah, I don't really know how that's supposed to sound.
早く起きなさい。起きろ。
This is ridiculous. The rattling has even caused my brain to start crashing around. I think you'd be dead. I can't help but open my eyes. Kyoko is really strong. She's athletic, but her strength goes way beyond simple athletic ability. I'm waking up! I'm already up, even though I'm trying to tell her that Kyoko doesn't seem to be taking any notice. Rather, she's concentrating on rattling my head. There's nothing more annoying than this. But this is bad. How long will I even be able to retain consciousness under this assault? I've only just woken up.
お兄ちゃん、きょうちゃん、そんなに揺らしたらお兄ちゃん死んじゃう。
Game over. Oh, stop it. I desperately try to speak. It's no good. I'm passing out, and I'm running out of continues. Oh, I'm on my 0 life. Her mouth is definitely saying that. But I can't tell whether she's trying to wake me up or knock me out cold. My health is really in critical danger. Ugh, I muster the last of my strength and... Cut it out already! I yell with all the air in my lungs. Oh god. Yep. There we go. Our mighty protagonist. Ow. You went too far. I could have died. I thought my neck would snap. I rubbed my neck. I think I may have sustained whiplash.
悪かったってば。あーほら、 そんなことより急ぎなさいよ。もう時間がないんだからさ。
At least let me eat something. Can't you at least wait that long? Jeez.
寝ぼすけ言うが悪いんだから。
She suddenly averts her gaze. If this beating was supposed to be a cute gesture, then maybe I'd have been better off if she'd been seriously trying to hurt me. Sheesh, this girl. The name of this treacherous, brutal murderer in training is Misaki Kyoko. She's a classmate in the same grade as me. We've hung out together ever since I moved here. I guess you could call it a love-hate relationship.
もう、ユウのせいでせっかくセットした髪が乱れちゃったじゃない。
It looks like you just rolled out of bed, actually, but hey, who am I to judge? You're a needlehead anyway, so it hasn't changed much. That's what I want to say, but if I did, then she'd get violent again. Keeping my retorts inside my head is my secret to having safely associated with her for such a long time. But strangely enough, she does have some redeeming qualities. She's athletic, cheerful, and can associate with both genders without reservation. She's a good person, if you can ignore all her bad points. If you ask me, though, she's just brutal, crude, crude and rough.
お待たせ。
Cowdy returns to the living room carrying her bag. She's wearing the bunny hat that you might say is her trademark. It's a childish-looking hat, but at the same time, it's kind of eerie. She even named it Napolitan, after a type of Japanese pasta. It seems like she's fond of it, but...
かおりちゃん、さっきはごめんね。この
いいよいいよ、そんなの。それよりも今日ちゃん、コーヒーのおかわりは？
かおりちゃんのコーヒー美味しいからね。もう一杯と行きたいんだけど、本当に時間ないからまた今度ね。
Well, she's very kind. She gets along well with Cowdy, too.
さっぱりした。お、ユウト、頭悪くなってないか？
Hello, exceedingly tall friend. Holy crap, that guy's large. What kind of greeting is that? Sheesh, do something about this mad woman. It's too early in the morning to die. Although it's not like it'd be okay if it were another time of day either.
ユウトに油断があったならしょうがないだろ。ああ、かおりちゃん、俺も美味しいコーヒー飲みたいな。
はい、先輩、ちょっと待ってくださいね。
かおりちゃんは働き者だね。将来はきっと可愛いお嫁さんになるよ。うんうん。
So yeah, I would like some feedback on who is the heroine that you guys would like us to pursue. You know, it's very slight spoilers, but you know, I'll point them out as they show up. There is a route for Kyoko here, so yeah, I'll point out the others as they show up.
なるだろうな。ああ、ユウトは幸せだよな。毎朝こんな可愛い妹が入れてくれたコーヒーが飲めるんだもんな。そうか。ユウト、俺が弟になるとしたら、お前はどう思う？
He asks such a ridiculous thing with a straight face. What is this guy thinking? I'm probably not one to talk, but we really are running late.
もう全力で走る覚悟はできているからな。ゆっくりコーヒーでもいただくさ。
The easygoing guy waiting for Cowdy's coffee is Midori Kyoi. His family runs the neighborhood temple, but he's hopelessly vulgar. Or perhaps I should say he's way too much of a skirt chaser. He gives off a rather cool impression at first glance, though. Incidentally, Kyoin and I are regrettably inseparable. It's the same as my relationship with Kyoko. At school, we're always in the same class. Perhaps you could even say the three of us are a set. It's awkward to admit, but they're my closest friends. I'm embarrassed to say it even when speaking it to myself.
はい、みどり先輩、コーヒーどうぞ。時間ないから少しぬるく入れました。
ありがとう、かおりちゃん。ああ、もったいなくて飲めないよ。
You dumbass. Anyway, I need to hurry and eat. I stuffed my cheeks with a sandwich Cowdy made. It's buttered toast with seasoned seaweed, shredded cabbage, and ham between it. It's a simple meal, but it's quite good. This is my emergency rations, a Kaori sandwich. By the way, this is something Kaori invented when she was learning to cook and couldn't make anything else, and it's still a stock item on our menu. She was going to put a sunny side up egg on it and power it up to be a Kaori sandwich special, but unfortunately we're out of time today. Ugh. I stuffed the Kaori sandwich into my mouth and washed it down with black coffee. Kaori sandwich. It's already past 8:25. At this point, we've no hope of arriving at school on time in the normal way. We have to dive into the classroom by 8:40. We're challenging the limits. The real battle for us starts now.
おいおい、まだ香織ちゃんのコーヒー飲んでないぞ。
Then gulp it down, man. You've had it for like a minute.
何言ってんの。本当に間に合わないってば。早く行かないとね。さあ、私のダッシュについてきなさいよ。
Kyoko flashes a fearless smile. Fearless. She can do anything, but the club she chose was the most basic. Track and field. She's taken on the club's expectations as their shining beacon of hope. It seems like dashing to school just in the nick of time is a point of enjoyment for Kyoko. The problem is Kaori, who can't keep up with 2 boys and 1 monster. Especially when we're running uphill right before school. She has to be carried by Kyoin or me to avoid falling behind. Carried? Really?
香織ちゃん、今日はどっちにする？
Oh my god, really?
仕方ない。今日は俺がおぶってくよ。香織ちゃん、それでいいかな。ほら、ゆうとも疲れてるみたいだしさ。
Okay, it's time for me to admit something straight out the bat, off the bat here. I don't like Kaori. I just don't. So, yeah, be prepared for that. Kyoin draws nearer to Kaori excitedly, holding his mug in one hand. I have a feeling that this guy has an interest in younger girls. No, I'm certain of it. That is to say that he's aiming for Kaori? No. There's no way I can entrust Kaori to the likes of you.
なんだよそれは。俺は自分で言うのもなんだが、背も高いし力もあるぜ。香織ちゃんをぶったまま全力で走ることもできる。もし香織ちゃんさえ良ければ、そのままどこまでも走って行こう。好きなところまで。
Enough. Go run by yourself. I'll carry Kaori. How could I leave her to you?
なんて言い草だ、このシスコン。
No. Ow. Oh god. Double whammy. With a loud thud, a sharp pain rushes through my skull. As we begin to quarrel, Kyoko's fan attack explodes onto our heads.
うるさいうるさい、このボケナスたち。香織ちゃんの気持ちにでもなってみなさいよ。無才男に背負われて。
Then use your damn feet yourself. Ow, what? Sorry for being so incompetent, jeez.
とにかく、ユウが早く起きればいいだけなの。
No, if you guys would shut up and actually, like, start moving, you'd be fine.
そうだよ。早く起きなきゃダメだよ。ご近所さんに恥ずかしいんだよ。
You are still wasting time. She sighs deeply. As you'd expect, she's somewhat reluctant to be being seen carried by someone running at full speed through town. Because of Kyoko's loud shouting, we draw lots of attention.
ま、背に腹は変えられないってね。さあさあ、今日も走るよ。全速力全速力。
Saying that, she picks up her bag and stands up from her seat. Perhaps it's because she's always been doing sports, but she's a really lively one. Next, Kyoin gulps down the rest of his coffee and stands up.
よっしゃ。行くか、ゆうと。負けた方がおごりだからな。
Hey, wait, I'm carrying Kaori, right?
羨ましいことじゃないか。
That's not the problem.
ユウ、行くわよ。
Kyoko shouts impatiently from the front door. I know. Alright, let's go. Once we're in the street, hop on. Hold on tightly so you don't fall.
無理しないでね。私は遅刻してもいいから。
Unfortunately, that'd be a problem for me. Just leave everything to me. There's no way I'll lose to someone like Kyoin.
もう、それなら早く起きればいいのに。
What Kaori says is true, but mornings are made for sleeping. I feel that this is an equally important truth.
お兄ちゃん行こ
Yeah. And so we meet our first merry band of protagonists. We somehow managed to avoid being late. The day progressed as usual, and now it's lunchtime. I suddenly realized that I forgot to get my bento from Cowdy. But going over there is kind of... It's somehow embarrassing to go to my little sister's classroom. Even so, I endure it and head over. Suddenly, I hear Cowdy's voice.
う。いや秋月先輩話してください。
なんで嫌がるんだ？僕が香りにひどいことするわけないだろう。香りに聞いてもらいたいことがあるだけだよ。
The sight of Shun forcefully grabbing Cowdy's wrist jumps into my eyes. Blood instantly rises to my head. Shun, what are you doing?
お兄ちゃん
Cowdy turns towards me.
また貴様か。どうして僕と香りの邪魔をする？
A nuisance. How dare you say something like that? Let her go. She's clearly resisting.
なんだ？香りの本当の気持ちが貴様にわかるのか？
Yeah, I know this dialogue's pretty bad. Speaking with a sickening air of self-importance, he removes his hand from Cowdy's wrist. This guy's name is Akitsuki Shun. He and I have never gotten along. He's always sticking around Cowdy and looking at me with excessive hostility. To tell the truth, I hate him as much as he hates me.
お兄ちゃん大丈夫だよ。秋月先輩とお話ししてただけだから。
そうだ。貴様はいちいち出てくるな。
Cowdy, don't lie to me. Why are you defending him? I unconsciously raise my voice. Cowdy sinks back and looks at me in fright. I shouldn't be doing this. But even knowing that, I can't control myself. Come here.
それが貴様の本性だな。香りを強引に従わせる。香りはお前のものじゃないんだ。
Look in a mirror. What?
貴様のしていることは自己満足だ。香りを使って自分を肯定しようとしている。
You're one to talk.
お兄ちゃんもうやめよ
Shut up. Unable to control my emotions, I speak harshly even though I know it's frightening her.
う。ごめん。
Her voice fades away. I stand in front of Shun, with Cowdy behind me. Her is head hung. I think they mean her head is hung. And she looks like she might cry.
そうやって力で香りを抑えつけるのか。所詮は育ちが悪い男のすることだな。貴様に香りのそばにいる資格などない。地べたに這いつくばって生きているお前などにな。
All this is happening in the middle of the school hallway. My mind is being overtaken by anger. Each of Shun's words chills my heart even further. Shut up. If you ever come near Cowdy again. I clench my fists firmly and glare at Shun with intense hatred. I'll never let him come near her. That's the decision I've made.
それがお前の本性だ。香り、よく覚えておけ。疫病神の本性だ。そうやって周りを殺していくのか。
Damn! Okay, now shit just got real. Is that all you have to say? I can't hold back any longer. I yell and move forward. But at that moment,
お兄ちゃんダメ
her cry rings down the hallway. Cowdy holds me from behind with all the strength she can muster.
ダメだよお兄ちゃん。こんなお兄ちゃん見たくないよ。
Cowdy. I realize that Cowdy is trembling behind me. Damn it, what the heck am I doing? Even though I've resolved never to make Cowdy sad.
秋月先輩もう行ってください。もう教室に戻らなくちゃいけないから。
そうか。香りがそう言うなら、僕は引こう。貴重な時間をこいつのために無駄にすることもない。香り。僕はいつでも待っているよ。
Shun slips past me. His eyes meet mine for an instant, and I glance down.
お兄ちゃん、ごめんなさい。またこんなことになって。
So, plenty of hostility between those two, clearly. She slowly releases her hands from around me. The warmth fades from my back, and I regain my composure.
ごめんなさい。
Her voice is full of sadness. That's the voice I most wanted to avoid hearing. Even so, I let my emotions get the better of me and hurt her again. Just what was I doing? I was acting the same as Shun. Sorry. I've done something dumb again. I turn around, hold Cowdy's shoulders, and then let go.
お兄ちゃん。
Cowdy, I...
あ、怖そうなの終わりました？いやー、どうしようかと思いましたよ。小鳥？
Here we have the sort of easygoing comedy relief. A sudden appearance, as usual. The girl who appeared so suddenly is Natsu Kotori. She's Cowdy's classmate and best friend. Completely in contrast with the quiet Cowdy, she's a lively girl who rattles off words like a machine gun. Since she's Cowdy's best friend, she's obviously not a bad person, but...
香織と先輩がいたでしょ？じゃあ話しかけるしかないじゃないですか。でも秋月先輩まで一緒にいたじゃないですか。そうなると苦手だから当然逃げるでしょ？
Naturally.
どうしようってずーっと悩んでたんですよ、これでも。でもいつの間にか二人になってたから、ああもういいやって出てきたわけです。
I see.
わかりました？
Yeah. Anyway, she's definitely someone who is hard to keep quiet. I need to get my bento before she starts running wild any further. However, that's too naive of a hope.
見たところ、香織が持ってるのはお弁当。ということは、今から二人でお弁当タイムだったんですよね。
Bento time!
そういうことなら私もお供させてください。香織は親友の頼みを無下に断ったりしないよね。学生生活において男女一緒のランチタイムは基本、そして基本をおろそかにしては全てがもろくも崩れ去ってしまったりするわけで。
Ah, Cowdy. Thanks for the bento.
ナチュラルに無視しないでください。
You see...
小鳥、別にお兄ちゃんと一緒に食べようと思ってたわけじゃなくて、あ、ほら、自分のお弁当も持ってきてないし。
Hearing Cowdy's words, Kotori for some reason puffs up with pride.
大丈夫だってば、香りのもちゃんと持ってきてるから。香りがお弁当を持って教室を出たけど、それを渡すようなスイートな相手はいない。っていうことは、あれは間違いなく優斗先輩の。ならば、ついていけば一緒に食事ができる。どうですか、この完璧な推理は。
So calculating! Yeah, you weren't mistaken.
小鳥に研究されてるよ。さてそれではいざお弁当の聖地屋上へ。寒くともホットな時間が待ってますよ。
I never knew that the rooftop was the holy land of bentos, but now I know. Kotori rambles on enthusiastically. She's simple-minded, as always. Wouldn't that be great, Kotori?
Hi!
But lunchtime is already over. Oh man. No! The ruthless bell rings. Just like that, Kotori's ambitions are crushed.
そんな。元気を出してね。
Well, I'm heading back to class.
はい。
I turn from the two of them and leave. But thanks to Kotori, it feels like I was able to put the unpleasant incident behind me. Thanks, Kotori. She'll get carried away if I tell her directly, so I thank her silently, in my mind. Hey there, Lord the Pete, how you doing? I walk slowly along the dark path. I'm not just not being leisurely. I'm not being leisurely? I think he means I'm not being leisure. I'm just sluggish. Ugh, that was tough. Today's work was really arduous. But this is for Cody's sake. Thinking about it that way helps me bear it. And half of it is for my own sake, too. After Cody's parents died, various relatives came to pick us up. Even at that time, I could tell what the adults shouting at each other were after from one phrase that kept repeating: insurance money. Because of that, I had no desire to go with those adults, nor did I want to use the insurance money that was the source of the conflict. In the end, we were taken in not by Cody's relatives, but by my grandmother on my birth parents' side. She was the only person left related to me by blood, but after watching over us until I had grown old enough to work, she also passed away. Since then, Cowdy and I have been spending frugally and living by our own means. I don't plan to rely on anyone else again. People still bug me about it, but maybe they'll give up soon. I sigh. Even at school, my teachers won't miss any opportunity to make remarks about it. Ugh, I'm thirsty. Some juice. No, I shouldn't. Perhaps because I was just reminiscing about the past, I feel like even one can of juice is too extravagant a luxury. That's right. I'll go to the shrine. Kamiki Shrine. It's a small shrine surrounded by a quiet wood, and it's not far from here. I have to climb a long stone stairway to get there, but their spring water is quite delicious. I have to save money where I can. Gathering my resolve, I start running, even though it's obvious that I'll get tired quickly. As expected, that really took a lot out of me. I wipe the sweat from my brow and head to the spring. I really am out of breath. I quickly bring the gushing water towards my lips. This is great. Finally regaining my spirit, I survey my surroundings. As usual, there's no one around. Save for special occasions like New Year's, it's really quiet out here. The only people you ever see are the occasional priest or shrine maiden. That's why it's so calming. If it weren't so late, then maybe I could relax for a bit here. Thinking about that, I turn to leave the shrine. A high, sharp, splitting sound rings through my ears. It's this ringing again. I cover my ears with all my strength. Damn it, what is this? As the ringing gets louder, my headache and nausea increase. Gnashing my teeth, I can do nothing but wait for the pain to recede. Thump. Well, actually, the sound effects take care of that. I don't even remember when it started. But since I started seeing that dream, I've been frequently assaulted by sudden headaches like this. Somehow, I feel like my mind's being eroded away. What is this? Damn it, get out!
Mo. Sumu. Kei. Chikai.
It's the voice again. The voice is even clearer than before. I thought I was just exhausted, but I'm starting to have a strong feeling that that's not the case.
Hayaku. Hayaku.
The voice in my head gradually grows farther away. My consciousness is being swallowed by an abyss.
Motome. To. Chikai.
Huh? What's going on? I can hardly move. I feel the cold, hard floor under my back and a soft pillow under my head. What am I doing? That's right, I was drinking water at the shrine. And then? I slowly open my eyes, my head still in a haze. Gradually my eyes come to focus, and I can make out the outline of a person. Lord of the Pete, it's really not that old. I don't remember when it came out in Japan, but I think it was released by Jast about 2 years here in America. Before that, it actually had a translation from a team, you know, beforehand. And that's actually the version that I'm playing here. I don't know if there's any differences in the Jast version, but it's a sort of strategy RPG visual novel crossover. It's quite a good game in my opinion. The story is not amazing. There's some parts to it that I really like, but it's quite cheesy in some aspects. So, you know, just to temper your expectations. Huh? I suddenly realize what I'm looking at. A shrine maiden? She looks down at my face worriedly. Her glossy hair and red headband are a striking sight. So this is another heroine in the game. This is Tokimi. So, again, you know, for looking for feedback on what heroine you want us to ultimately go after. Seeing me come to my senses, her expression relaxes. And it's actually important in this game that you more or less decide who that you're going to pursue fairly early on, because you can easily get off track. Because some heroines are quite hard to get on the route, whereas others are extremely easy. So she speaks gently to me. I realize that my head is laid in her lap. You are... What am I doing? I was drinking the water and... My memories are cloudy. I can't put them in order. Was I unconscious for a while? I've had confidence in my physique, but it seems like I'm not in such great condition after all. Thank you. Yeah. She introduces herself without hesitation. She smiles sweetly. Is she a little older than me, perhaps? She has a youthful face, but I can sense composure in her demeanor. She seems kind, but level-headed. Also, her eyes have a depth to them, as though they could see into a person's soul. Thank you, Kurahashi-san. I see. Then, thank you, Tokimi-san. Did I ever tell her my own name? I know I was disoriented before, but the instant I wonder about that, I felt a soft sensation on the back of my head. That's right, my head's in her lap. I'll get up right away. I try to stand up. Huh? I can't muster the strength? That's weird. I'm not feeling any pain, but... A purification? Uh-oh. Huh. Does a purification make you unable to move? Well, she did help me out, so it would be rude to make such a remark. I try to change the subject. You said you were dispatched. They dispatch people to shrines? That sounds tough. I'm not that knowledgeable about shrines. I haven't heard much about them, so perhaps what she says is true. I was being weird after all. Got it. Anyway, thank you. I've been feeling a bit ill lately for some reason. Ah, that's right. A year ago, I collapsed from overexhaustion and caught a bad cold. I even caught a mild case of pneumonia and had to be admitted to a hospital. Kaori made a big fuss at the time, as though I were dying. Huh? I don't remember it, but could we have met at that time? Oh, I accidentally hit enter. My bad. Yeah. Anyway, very cute stalker for Yuto. She smiles, but somehow I sense a hint of loneliness. It's the same face Cowdy makes from time to time. Sorry, I really don't remember. And here we go. No matter how much I rack my memory, I can't remember her. I'm really disgraced to have forgotten such a kind person.
いいんです。私が一方的に知っているだけですから。困らせてしまいましたね。
That's quite bold, Tokimi.
ごめんなさい。
On the contrary, she's the one making a slightly troubled face and apologizes. It's somehow tough to watch, so I avert my eyes. Doing so, I catch a glimpse of a scabbard for a small sword at her hip. What's that? A sword? I usually wouldn't have taken much notice, but it captivates me. Why?
気になりますか?
Huh? She casually draws the sword from its scabbard. The blade she raises in front of me glistens in the moonlight.
これは私の一族に伝わる覇者の力を秘めた神剣なのです。私たちが魔と戦う時に使うのです。
Psycho!
この刀で何体もの妖怪を撃ち滅ぼしました。
Tokimi looks at the sword as she speaks. I think the part about demons is a joke, but she says it with such a serious face that it sounds like she's telling the truth.
私の命です。
Huh? Did the blade just sparkle? Was it my imagination? For an instant, I thought I saw beads of dim light shine from the sword. My attention is captivated yet again.
ユウトさんにも見えましたか?
That light just now? She nods slowly and moves the sword closer. Her previous smile has disappeared. The intensity of Tokimi's eyes is so great that I'm unable to open my mouth.
信じますか?
I...
なんてね。
Huh?
ごめんなさい。ただの儀礼用の刀なんです。刃もついてませんし。
True fact, all shrine maidens should carry swords. This is a law of Lord the Pete over his lands. Her serious face dissolves in laughter. She presses her finger to the blade as she speaks, but it shows no sign of bleeding. Oh, a joke. You were speaking so seriously that I completely believed you, Tokimi-san. Yeah, the part about demons really was too much.
それにしても、ユウトさんって思ってたよりも雰囲気に流されやすいんですね。これは覚えておかないと。
Huh? Remember it?
いえいえ、こちらの話です。あと、やっぱり呼び捨てでいいですよ。なんか、さん付けって慣れません。
Ah, okay. Then just call me Yuta.
いや、そういうわけにはいきません。ユウトさんはユウトさんでいいのです。
Is that how it is?
そういうものです。
Right. She doesn't seem like a bad person. That's the feeling I get talking to her. She says some weird stuff now and again, but I guess that's nothing for me to worry about. Ah, that's right, Tokimi-san. Shouldn't you be heading back? It's already this dark.
ユウトさん、やっぱりいい人ですね。嬉しいです。
She smiles at me. It makes me a little embarrassed.
そろそろ起き上がれますか?
As she speaks, I feel my strength returning. Ah, it seems like I'll be able to get back home. I think I'll be fine. I'm getting up. I stand up and show her that I'm fine. Seeing that, Tokimi stands as well.
ユウトさん、体には気をつけてくださいね。
Yeah, I will. Practically speaking, I should slow down my pace at work and stabilize my condition. If working at too fast a pace will require me to take a long time off, then that's even more of a loss in the long run. Thank you very much for today. That's right, where do you live? I could walk back with you if you like.
私はこの神社で厄介になってますから、大丈夫ですよ。
I see. So she's been dispatched to come live here. but is there even anything for her to do to help out with at this time of year? Or, I guess that'd be kind of rude to ask. So, you'll be staying here for a while? In that case, I'll bring something to thank you next time.
お礼なんていいですよ。でもしばらくはここにいますから遊びに来てください。
Ah, then I'll visit again.
はい。
I'll come along with Kaori and the others. We often use this shrine as a meeting place anyway. It might just be because of her appearance, but I feel that Japanese sweets might be a good thing to bring. I'll try asking Kyoin about the ones sold in the area. Anyway, I'll take my leave for today. Thank you very much.
いいえ、お気をつけて。
Bye.
はい、ごきげんよう。
I grab my bag and leave the shrine. Bye, Tokimi.